Alright guys, I've been putting off this reaction because it's just a long video, but it's been getting insane views recently, with 5 million views in a year, which is pretty cracked. Like, I think we reacted to a video, we reacted to a video before this and it only got, got 5 million views in 1 year. Well, this one got it in 1 month, so let's check it out.
Looking at
The densest city on Earth
is considered the most densely populated place that ever existed. On an area of just 6.5 acres, or 4 football fields, dozens of individual buildings have merged into one solid organism.
Bro, that's a town? Oh, you guys think the world will be like this in the future, guys? We're just building on top or even going below ground level, guys? Because they're so large of a population? I think it might be like that one day. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. This might be like the precursor of what the world might be like. Unless we go to other planets, like, right guys? Where else do we have where else do we have to inhabit, guys? The ocean? Like, do we build over the ocean? I don't understand, you know what I mean? Let's watch it.
Shops, restaurants, churches, private homes, and virtually everything that makes a city. While the outside...
Wait, did they say mansions?
While the outside-facing apartments get to enjoy sunlight, a vast majority are located within this block, full of dark pathways. It is a giant urban maze that attracted all kinds of people with reasons to hide.
Dang, bro, that's wild.
This is Kowloon Walled City.
Kowloon Walled City, guys. That's the most densest city ever, guys.
Understand just
they did a good job of making it that way,
how
right?
Incredibly closely packed people lived here. Let's compare this city with other places.
Alright.
Take the East Village in New York City, located in
New York City's pretty dense, but
Lower Manhattan.
They got a giant park and stuff.
There's a small park in the center, but other than that, it is a
small park, rather.
Pretty dense neighborhood with historic row houses and more recent large apartment buildings. Based on the 2010 US Census, just over...
Guys, would you live in an apartment building, guys? Let me know in the comments below. Do you live in an apartment building? I currently do not. It's way beyond my pay grade to be living in a place like that for now. But what's not to say I'll live in one in the future, guys. Let's keep watching.
Over 44,000 people live here. That results in a population density significantly higher than for all of New York City, and New York is the most densely populated city in the United States.
They said only 4,000. Hold my beer. You know what I mean?
By all means, this is a dense place. But let's compare it to Kowloon Walled City. In 1987, a survey estimated that 33,000 people live here.
Dang, bro. They even know exactly where they live for some reason. They use like some sort of like aerial satellite or something, guys.
The density is simply astounding. And in reality, the number might have been even bigger, with some estimates going up to 50,000 people.
Dang, bro. They don't have like a census or something, guys? They just straight up had to estimate. Okay.
Perhaps the strangest thing about Kowloon Walled City, however, is just how abruptly it ends. While everything is crammed into this tight block of buildings, behind the sharp walls of the city, there are relatively spaced out buildings, and even a park with sports fields. So why was everything crammed into this small block?
And now they have a bunch of stuff they can build around it, right guys? Or you could just leave the city and go to the park. But yeah, it's such a small city, bro. Not gonna lie, like my city is so much more bigger than this.
The answer is that Kowloon Walled City wasn't part of the rest of Hong Kong, but had its
in Hong Kong, guys.
Own legal status.
Oh snap, what?
The walled city began as nothing more than a small Chinese military outpost, stationing
Humble beginnings, guys. Look at the size of it compared to how it was now,
about
man.
10
How it
guards.
is now.
It really started to take shape more than a century later, when the outpost was expanded by the construction of a larger fort.
Fort, man. And when they call it fort, it reminds me of like building forts back when I was a kid, like in my room and stuff. Whenever somebody mentions the word fort, that's what it reminds me of, guys.
At the same time, the nearby harbor of Canton began to gain importance. Chinese tea was a hot commodity for British traders, who purchased it in
Okay. So now they got some business going on as well, guys.
staggering volumes, allowing this region to prosper. However, the trade relationship was notably unbalanced. While the British bought large quantities of tea, the Chinese had little need for goods from Europe.
Bro, so hey, isn't it the same way with China, guys? You know what I mean? Like, they still be exporting a lot and not needing much, guys. They're pretty, they're a world power for sure, guys. Not gonna lie.
To improve this trade balance, the British began to illegally import opium from India to China. This scheme
Uh-oh. They got a scheme now. What? No
proved
way.
effective, with the widespread consumption of the drug escalating rapidly. This led to an addiction epidemic, which wreaked havoc on the Chinese
I actually learned about this in the history books. One of my first times learning about something like this going on.
economy. Recognizing this crisis, the imperial government took decisive action to halt the opium trade, but this move led to a heated conflict, which would later be known as the First Opium War between Great Britain and the Chinese Empire.
Like, straight up a war started because of this, guys. I didn't even know.
Britain won the war and subsequently occupied Hong Kong in 1841.
What the heck? Dang, bro. So many wars going on back then, guys. The human history, it's pretty savage, guys. If you guys remember back in the history books, bro. So many wars.
The walled city was not affected, as it was located on the island nearby. And as a result of this loss, the Chinese Empire decided to reinforce the fort in Kowloon by building large walls around it, giving the area its lasting name, Kowloon Walled City.
Alright.
At the heart of this fortress, they built a yamen, which is the main office from which this outpost is administered. The tensions between China and Britain continued on, ultimately leading to the Second Opium War in
Another one, guys? Dang, bro. They were friends at the start.
1860.
We gotta know more about this opium war.
As a result, the Kowloon Peninsula too fell into British hands. And the final boundary negotiation took place in 1898, resulting in a 99-year lease of the new territories to Britain. This is, in short, the story of how Hong Kong became a British colony, as it is commonly known.
It's still known that way. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember it kind of being that way, guys. Like, for sure, I was like, yo, wait, what? China owns Hong Kong?
But what is often overlooked is that the convention included one specific exception: the Kowloon Walled City, which is located inside the new territories, a Chinese enclave in the middle of British Hong Kong. As time moved on, both the Chinese and the British administrations showed a lack of interest in the walled city, leaving it to its own fate. The desolate barracks
Hey, bro, not many, they didn't even get in and out of there, bro. They built walls around the whole place.
soon became makeshift homes for squatters seeking refuge.
Is that water on the ground?
And recognizing the need for community structures, a Protestant church seized the opportunity to establish a senior home within the historic yamen. But the
That's good. Always gotta take care of our seniors, right, guys?
Peaceful existence of this enclave was shattered in 1937 when war erupted between Japan and China.
Hey, bro, can't wait till we get over the war phase, bro. So many wars be going on, bro, but it's good we're learning about the history of it.
The full-scale invasion initiated by Japan emerged as the central conflict in the Pacific throughout World War II. And by 1942, Japan had taken control of vast swaths of northern China, as well as holding various coastal exclaves, one of them being Hong Kong, which they utilized as a strategic military base. The
Alright.
Japanese expanded the local Kai-tak airport, and to do so they needed building materials. Therefore, they tore down the walls of Kowloon Walled City, which was located right near the airport.
Hey, bro, they straight up stole it? What the heck? Okay, now I know where they're warring, bro. Stealing resources and stuff. You know how long it probably took them to build that? Quite a while, you know what I mean? Construction projects take months.
The end of the Second World War saw Hong Kong revert to British control. Simultaneously, the newly founded People's Republic of China in 1949 reasserted
That's what it's still called.
its
To this
right
day.
over the Kowloon Walled City. Practically, however, neither the Chinese nor the British took control of this area. And with a massive wave of refugees in the wake of the Chinese Civil War, the need for cheap living space in Hong Kong was immense. And so, in the decade
Hey, well, when are we not in need of cheap living space, right, guys? So many large homeless population in the USA currently going on. That's what we need, right, fam?
that followed, a maze of buildings grew ever higher and denser. Single houses became multi-story buildings, became 14-story skyscrapers.
Sheesh, bro. Now they're taking it overdrive, bro.
The sunlit streets turned into shaded paths until
It's like free, free air conditioning almost, guys. No more sun.
they were eventually completely blocked from sunlight.
It looks like it would be hard to like actually build these structures. They're so close, man.
Within the confines of the walled city, the laws of Hong Kong were
Can't wait to the point where we see how it looks now today, guys.
not enforced. Any construction within the city proceeded without adhering to any building codes, with one singular exception. Due to the city's close proximity to Kai-tak Airport, a strict height limit of 14 stories was enforced. Kowloon Walled City was located right along the path into the airport.
Bro, next to an airport, that means a lot of traffic, right, guys? You could just move there and then bam, that city would be there.
Landings at Kai-tak were one of a kind, with pilots navigating through Hong Kong's mountainous terrain, flying remarkably close to the walled city on final approach.
Oh, right. It's a pretty tall place. Wait, I don't even see where it is right there.
The highest priced apartments were those facing the outside, followed by those near the internal courtyard. These units offered the precious commodity of sunlight and fresh air. You could add a caged balcony to your apartment, cleverly expanding your living space.
Yo, that's pretty cool though, man. It's caged as well, so you can't get your stuff stolen. Imagine the person waters the plants right there. Like the water would be dripping down. Hopefully it doesn't drip on anyone, right, guys?
But most of the units
It'd be a cool place to live, man.
were located inside, in extremely unhealthy conditions.
Oh, man, that's not good.
This is a plan for a typical building inside the city. With no windows, people
Oh, hold on, guys. I got a phone call. Alright, I'm back.
here were completely dependent on
Thank goodness OBS lets me pause the recording, by the way, if anyone's wondering why there's cuts like this.
electric light. There also was no waste management in place, which led to catastrophic air quality. Frequently, rubbish was simply disposed on one of the city's rooftops, or thrown into one of the shafts between
Guys, are those like satellite dishes? I don't understand. Are those satellite dishes or barbed wire?
buildings. The air is said to have been constantly stuffy and polluted by the many factories that operated inside the city. As for clean water, a mere 6 official water stations served the entire city, which means residents often had to carry the water over long distances. In terms of electricity, few actually paid for the service. Instead,
Hey,
most
bro.
residents opted to illegally tap into external cables, routing them through the city's
Dang, bro, what the heck?
intricate maze of narrow passageways.
They got a cord running to get free electricity, guys.
These harsh living conditions attracted not just those looking for a cheap place to live. The city's ambiguous legal status also attracted those who saw potential for unique business opportunities within its shadowy
Gosh. Bro. Yeah. Yeah, I got tired of RuneScape. I just wasn't making that much money. But, you know, there's always a chance I'll come back. Because I have so much time and accounts invested into it. Just give me some time, man. If you're in the Discord, I'll at everyone when I go live and play RuneScape.
fines.
Like, I streamed it like 5 days ago or something.
The walled city became a popular hub for dentists. Many of those had obtained their qualifications in mainland China, but found their licenses unrecognized in British-governed Hong Kong. This rendered them unable to legally practice elsewhere in the city. The absence of regulatory oversight also allowed various workshops, such as those specializing in metal fabrication, to flourish within the city. And kitchens were selling
Oh, that's the most densest amount of businesses I've seen ever, guys. In one picture, guys.
popular food
If that's businesses. Like,
items
look at that,
were
man.
outlawed in the rest of Hong Kong,
So
such
many.
as dog meat.
Ugh.
Generally, food production was a common business inside the city, despite the completely unsanitary conditions. It is even said that
Man, that doesn't look fun, bro. But oh my gosh, look at all the signs at night, man.
many of the
They
delicacies
even got a bus.
processed here over the day ended up on the plates of expensive restaurants across Hong Kong later in the night.
Oh,
While
snap,
these
for real?
kinds of businesses within the walled city skirted the edge of legality, others plunged straight into the realms of serious criminal activity. Just because this
Dang, bro. Pretty interesting.
city is free from the laws of Hong Kong did not mean it was a space without order. Power structures still exist, with the triads, notorious criminal gangs, controlling the city.
Yo, that's scary, man. I thought they were gonna mention like a police force or anything. No, they mentioned a criminal gang.
While businesses did not pay taxes, many of them were forced to pay protection money to these groups. And the triads themselves engaged in illegal businesses, such as soliciting prostitution, opium dens, and in the later years venturing into heroin trafficking. The Hong Kong
Bro got a pretty savage history.
authorities found themselves in a difficult position, not wanting to let the growing addiction problem get out of hand. A permanent police presence inside the city would be an affront to China, which still claims the territory as its own. Therefore, in the mid-1970s, the authorities decided to carry out many isolated raids, with police officers storming the city for short periods of time, arresting criminals, confiscating drugs, and
Yo, they got sun-kissed oranges as well, guys.
then leaving again.
Yo, what is that? Opium?
In addition, various private aid organizations established themselves,
Oh, it's not. It's a symbolic image, not from Kowloon Walls.
operating a kindergarten as well as a Christian missionary youth center that offers help with addiction. The historic Yamen in the middle of the city became a popular social spot, hosting public events for the city's residents. Even though the situation in the city improved in parts, it was again geopolitical reasons that ultimately ushered in the final chapter of the city.
Wait, what? It's not. I thought it was still around, guys.
Legal
It might still be around. I don't know.
status was a result of the 99-year lease of the surrounding new territories.
Dang, that's quite a while to just lease a place, bro. That's like more than most of our lifespans, right, guys? Hopefully not though.
And it is precisely that countdown that was coming to an end.
Uh-oh. So we're in the 1960s or something here.
In 1984, after years of negotiations, Great Britain and China agreed on a handover of all of Hong Kong back to China.
Yo, we got peace finally, guys. 1960s are for the win. Eh?
This handover was scheduled to take place in 1997, but the breakthrough in
Or 1990s rather, sorry.
negotiations also cleared up the dispute regarding Kowloon Walled City. Despite massive resistance from the city's residents, the two governments jointly decided that the social situation, the risk of fire breaking out, as well as the fear of any of the buildings collapsing, would justify the complete evacuation and demolition of the city.
Oh, what? Oh, that's good though. It looks like it was had super unsafe living conditions.
With the start of the demolition in 1993, Kowloon Walled City
That's the year I was born, guys. Look at all. It's a beautiful structure, though. Not gonna lie.
came to an end.
They could have made it look different, though, like more
But as
healthy.
the city fades into memory, two diametrically opposed ideas of its existence emerge. The dystopian image of the city inspired a large number of fictional depictions in film and art, often showcasing Kowloon Walled City as a futuristic hotbed of crime and corruption. As
Yeah, that's what I thought it was, guys. But it's something else, man.
such, the city
Futuristic, though.
inspired tons of dystopian fantasies.
Gray?
However, what gets lost here is that this city was also a vibrant, tightly knit community. As chaotic as the city may appear from the outside, there was actually a lot of order. And the notion of complete chaos
Hey, bro, I have no idea what it would be like to live in some place like that, guys.
is simply wrong. You could send a letter to someone living inside the city, and despite the apparent chaos, it would get delivered just fine. People came
That's good, that's good.
here with nothing. They then raised children, established businesses, and then had to self-organize those aspects of city life that the lack of government had left out. To many, Kowloon Walled City is a symbol of Hong Kong, showing that hardworking people were able to create community even despite harsh conditions.
Let's go, fam.
Today, on the side of the walled city, there is a park where remains of the historical city can be found in several places.
Dang, bro, it's completely done for, man. I think it was good, though. And also bad, though.
Such as the
Because now we don't have... We can't really visit it no more, guys.
historic Yamen building still standing, as well as a small model remembering the urban monolith that once stood here.
That's all that's left of it. I mean, kind of basically.
It's easy to vilify, and it's just as easy to romanticize a place like this. Ultimately,
Hey, you wouldn't have to go far for groceries, right, guys?
the answer might lie somewhere in the middle.
Very, very, very well done. Oh, we're not done yet.
The story of Kowloon Walled City is one I've been meaning to tell for a long time, because it's a story that explores the intersections of architecture, history, and culture. Looking at changes of urban places throughout the decades, I think, can be incredibly insightful to understand the world we live in. One of my favorite videos I did that explores exactly these intersections is my video about the construction of the original Twin Towers, in which I explain how these buildings completely changed how skyscrapers are built.
Sadly, they went down, though.
This video is part of my ongoing video series Underexposure, which also features videos about the raid on Bin Laden's compound in 2011, as well as a video about the Tenerife disaster, which was the worst aviation accident that ever occurred.
I didn't even know. I thought it was like MH.
These are videos that are not made for the YouTube algorithm. Instead, this series is made for the big screen. A series where I fully, creatively tell stories just how I want to.
Wait, is this guy gonna be on the big screen? What the?
And the reason all this is possible is because me and a bunch of creators have gotten together to build our very own streaming site. And it's called Nebula.
Dang, bro, this guy is going the extra mile, bro. What the heck? I did not expect this to come out of him.
The idea is simple. Since Nebula is not an ad-driven platform like YouTube, but a subscription model, we get to create higher budget productions. Some of my favorite shows across the board are on Nebula. They're entertaining, but since we mostly are educational creators, there's also just so much to learn at the same time. And I am immensely proud of what my original series has become. So go to nebula.tv/neo and make sure you use that link so that you get 40% off on an annual plan. All my exclusive videos are up there, so thanks for the support.
Dang, bro, okay, I did not know that would come out from him, but honestly, it's a miracle that whole thing didn't go up in flames at one point. I know, right? You'd think a massive fire would start from something, be it a lantern or heavy. I don't know if they had fire departments and stuff, but Cologne is forever a model for intensely dense dystopian fiction cities. Alright guys, like, comment, subscribe, check out Neo in the description. Do all my reactions live on Twitch, so if you want to come through, say hi. Consider donating, that'd be appreciated, and I'll see you guys next one, man. We're getting close to 6K, so see you in like, we'll do something special for 6,000, guys. Thank you, guys.